It was a crisp Tuesday morning, the kind where you savor the last sip of coffee before the daily grind. I was lacing up my shoes when a noise like a feral beast erupted from my front porch. Heart pounding, I crept to the peephole and froze. There was Cynthia Hayes, the neighborhood's self-appointed queen, shredding my welcome mat with her bare hands, her face twisted in fury. "This is not HOA approved," she shrieked, ripping the fabric apart as if it had personally insulted her. I flung the door open, disbelief coursing through me. "Cynthia, what the hell are you doing?" She spun around, her sleek blonde bob whipping, clutching scraps of my home sweet home mat in her perfectly manicured fists. Her eyes blazed with a zealot's fire. "I'm enforcing the rules you signed up for," she spat, flecks of saliva flying. Across the street, my neighbor Tom hollered, "I'm calling the cops." Cynthia's head snapped toward him, her mouth gaping in outrage. 3 months earlier, my wife, Emily, and I had moved into Willow Creek, our first home after years of scraping by. It was a fixer-upper, but we were thrilled, pouring love into every detail to make it ours. One of those details was a VY Brant welcome mat from my MoMA Navy Square, with cheerful yellow daisies and "Home Sweet Home" stitched across it. It was a housewarming gift, a small thing that meant the world, especially since Mom was fighting cancer. We knew Willow Creek had an HOA, but we didn't expect trouble until Cynthia showed up on day 3, clipboard in hand, her smile as tight as her blazer. "I'm the president of the Willow Creek Homeowners Association," she announced, eyeing our mat like it was a crime scene. "Your welcome mat doesn't align with our aesthetic standards." Section 4. Paragraph 6 of the bylaws outlines approved colors. She thrust a highlighted document at me. "I promised to re-VYEW it, but a welcome mat? Really?" Emily, ever the peacemaker, mentioned we'd already swapped our mailbox and planted HOA-approved shrubs. Cynthia's smile grew sharper. "I appreciate compliance," she said, but her tone screamed otherwise. What followed was a bizarre crusade. No matter how we towed the line-replacing light fixtures, trimming grass to the exact inch, Cynthia fixated on that mat. First came a notice about its excessive lettering. Then another claiming its colors caused VY soil disruption. The third, a half-inch thickness, made it a tripping hazard. I started chatting with neighbors when Cynthia wasn't patrolling. Turns out, we weren't alone. She fined a Thompson's for wind chimes 2 inches too long. Old Mr. Jenkins got weekly notices for grass 1/8 of an inch too tall. Mrs. Lopez? A DULA 300 fine for a bird feeder that attracted non-aesthetic wildlife. I asked my neighbor Greg why no one fought back. He glanced around nervously. "You don't get it. She's been HOA president for 7 years. Her husband's on the town council. Cross her, and your permits vanish, or you're hit with fines no one else gets." Still, I kept the mat. It wasn't just defiance. Those daisies reminded me of Mom's courage. I tried reasoning with Cynthia one evening as she measured a neighbor's shrubs with a ruler. "It's just a mat," I said, keeping my voice steady. "It's for my mom who's sick. It matters to us." She smoothed her khakis and stared at me like I'd suggested spray painting the house neon green. "Rules are rules," she said icily. "No exceptions, not even for sick mothers." That did it. I dug into the bylaws myself and found a loophole. Mats only needed to be in good condition, no mention of colors or designs. I emailed Cynthia, copying the HOA board, pointing this out. Her reply? A new rule amendment, conveniently approved the day before, dictating acceptable mat designs. The nerve. Then came that Tuesday. I'd installed a doorbell camera the pre-VYS weekend HOA approved, naturally, after a 17-page application. It recorded everything. Cynthia storming up at 7:15 a.m., muttering about these people who don't get it, then yanking the mat and tearing it to pieces while ranting about violations. When I confronted her, she didn't flinch. She stepped closer, jabbing a finger into my chest. "I'm head of the HOA Standards Committee," she hissed. "Your tacky mat is tanking this street's curb appeal." I held my ground. "Get off my property. You're trespassing and destroying my stuff." She laughed, a shrill cackle that sent chills down my spine. "Trespassing? I have a right to inspect this neighborhood anytime." By now, neighbors were watching, drawn by the chaos. Cynthia, Thrive-ing on the attention, started naming violations. And you, Susan, don't think I missed your unapproved bird bath. That night, I posted the camera footage to our neighborhood forum, not expecting it to blow up. By morning, it had thousands of EYUs. Neighbors I'd never met shared their own Cynthia horror stories. One caught her measuring Christmas lights at 5 a.m. Another had footage of her peering through windows with binoculars. The kicker came from retired Judge Mr. Callahan, who posted security video of Cynthia sneaking into his backyard while he was away, snapping photos. "I've been documenting her for years," he wrote, "just waiting for someone to speak up." When the police arrived, Cynthia was still at my house, demanding to see badges and threatening to call the police chief, a personal friend. Officer Daniels, a no-nonsense woman, listened calmly. "Ma'am, you can't destroy property or enter private land without permission," she said. Cynthia's voice climbed. "I was enforcing community standards." Daniels didn't blink. "The HOA isn't the law. You're not above it, Ms. Hayes." As Daniels cuffed her for vandalism and trespassing, Cynthia's composure shattered. "You'll regret this when your property values crash," she screamed, still yelling about decorative anarchy as they loaded her into the squad car. The next week, the HOA board held an emergency meeting packed with homeowners. Cynthia, out on bail, didn't show. After reviewing the evidence, the board voted unanimously to oust her as president and board member. Then came a bombshell. The treasurer, a quiet accountant named Peter, revealed a forensic audit showing Dulaw $22,000 in HOA fines collected over 3 years. None of it deposited. The room went silent, all eyes on Cynthia's empty chair. 2 days later, she faced embezzlement charges on top of the rest. The DA, armed with mountains of evidence, pushed hard. Cynthia took a plea: 6 months in jail, 3 years probation, full restitution, and a Dulaw $10,000 fine. In court, her polished facade crumbled. "This is absurd," she wailed, her lawyers scrambling to hush her. "I was protecting our community. Do you know what this'll do to my reputation?" The judge, stone-faced, lectured her on abusing power and betraying trust, which only made her sob louder as she was led away, still ranting about collapsing property values. Willow Creek felt lighter after that, like we'd all been holding our breath for years. But here's where it gets messy. Was Cynthia a tyrant, or was she just a stickler pushed too far? Should HOAs have this much power over personal touches like a welcome mat? And what about the neighbors who stayed silent? Were they complicit or just scared? Drop your thoughts below. Hit that like button if this saga got your blood pumping, and subscribe for more wild stories. Let's get this debate going.